And I was like, what do I really want to do with my life? Like, I'd love to be a Hollywood actor, but one of the ones who get to like fly in an Iron Man suit or be a superhero, something that looks really, really cool on screen, right? A lot of VFX. And then I started thinking from my mathematical side came out and I was like, I'm in my mid 20s. I want to be a Hollywood actor. I got no real credits to my name. I got business experience. I'm pretty good at entrepreneurship. How many actors are there out there that are actually like get to be the Hulk or get to be Iron Man or get so like one out of a million, right? So from a mathematical perspective, I was like, and I'm from Canada. I'm not even from America, right? The odds are against me. So I thought, it'd be probably easier, and this could be crazy hubris. Completely, I was like, the odds will be better if I start my own production company, and I have something so valuable that I'm able to like somehow work my way into the executive room, where I'm able to say, I would like to have this character as part of you guys buying this content or using my, and then I'm like, okay, well, if I'm a production company, what do I need? I need a story, I need a script. So I started writing a script because I don't have any money to pay anybody to write my own script. And what came out of my mind was like dragons and wizards and all sorts of really cool characters. Then I discovered I love writing fantasy because there's no limits. And I finished the script. I write a second draft because you're supposed to do that apparently. That was 5 months of like not making any money and just like writing a script, being locked away, being in your own head for that long. I'm like, okay, now it's time to sell this thing because this is like a script where there's dragons and there's like basically ancient versions of Iron Man and stuff, hunting the dragons. And I'm like, how am I going to get this launched? Okay, we need like $100 million. Okay, we'll call up James Cameron, IMDb Pro. So I spent $150 on the IMDb Pro membership. Hi, I'd like to speak to James Cameron. Because you can get in touch with these people's agents. And I was just like, who are you? I'm the guy with the new script that no one heard about. Of course, wall, firewall. Okay, that strategy didn't work. I tried contacting all the big names. How about if I try to contact like some smaller people on LinkedIn? Only one person again reached out to me or responded in a way that was sort of useful. He's like, no one's going to read your script. I was like, okay, so what do I do next? He's like, make it into a famous short film or a best-selling comic book. Okay, I can't afford a highly budgeted VFX-driven short film, but I could afford doing some personal training on the side and then paying some amateur artists to write some comic book stuff. How do you write a comic book? Google, how do you write a comic book? You learn, get this, get the software, whatever. Then you learn how to write a comic book, and then all of a sudden you got a comic book. It's just like taking these next little steps. Then it's like you got a comic book. How do you market a comic book? This is extremely how do you publish and distribute? Now you're against Marvel and DC, who own 90% of the market. So that led me into like, oh, let's think about a way to make this more viral or venture-driven type of thing. So I developed a business plan around it, reached out to Sunny, and that's where I ended up bringing in some investment. I was trying to find something unique, and one of the things I liked about Star Wars is it kind of tells you what it is, but it's also like a brand in itself. You like can own it. And I was like, oh man, it's hard nowadays because so many of the words and names are already in a way taken. So I started using Google Translator, put in Latin. I was like, what about just war or warriors? So Bellatorum, from my understanding, because I'm not a Latin expert, means like war and or warriors, depending on how it's conjugated in Latin. And I just thought it sounded really cool, Bellatorum.